Good day. Welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Mahopac Schools, the holiday edition. I'm Eric Gross, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools Anthony DiCarlo. Anthony, happy holidays.
Same to you, Eric. Happy holidays. It's been a very long beginning of the school year. I think the break is needed for all of us. I think it's important to be with our families, to relax, to recharge, to reflect on what we do have, and really, be thankful that, we're getting through this. Mahopac is resilient. It's one of the most resilient communities and districts that I know of. We've been through a lot, and I'm so confident that when 2021, there'll still be some pitfalls. There'll be some things we have to work through, but hopefully as the year goes on, and things hopefully get better and we can start to bring things back, that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to 2021.
The big news this week on the national level as well as on the local level deals with the stimulus package. How does that shape up?
Well, of course, there's still conversations because what happens is the federal government gives the money to the state government, and the state government decides how they want to disseminate it, whether they want to offset some of the state aid numbers. So we're really trying to be as cautiously optimistic as we can, Eric, because as you know, we've heard about the state, pitfalls and $16 billion and the impact it has on state aid, what that may look like this year, and then what it may look like for the following school year. And then we don't have runs yet as to know what is happening, but as we're seeing and listening, at least to our elected officials and the governor, they're claiming they would like to keep things at least status quo in regards to state aid, which would be a very good thing. I mean, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and look at what we may have to do, but I keep my fingers crossed that it's not we're going to be near what we thought a couple of months ago, which would have been devastating, not only for this year, but the subsequent school year. So we're watching, we're listening. I think as we're developing the budget, and we're going to be starting to do that come, next month, there are going to be a variety of different options that we have to lay out just in case, worst case scenario. I have to be honest with the public. The best case scenario, Eric, is just everything status quo. Mm-hmm. And if we can keep things the way we have in place for this year, for next year, and rolling everything over, that'll be a win-win. That's really what we need to understand. We work very hard. Believe it or not, I'm going to be finishing up my third year in February. We've worked very, very hard doing a lot of things from a instructional point of view, from a bond point of view, and we're going to talk about that later on. And we want to carry that momentum. We're sitting here at Mahopac High School in the library, which is going to have a lot of the work that's going to be done this summer. And what's happening in this school, what's happening with the accolades, with our merit scholarship winners, with, again, we were scholar athletes. All of our teams over the fall were scholar athlete teams. I mean, one of my charges was bringing Mahopac High School back to a school of excellence. We've done that. You see that in our merit scholars. You see that in our scores. You see that in our state recognition as being rewarded as state reward school for its academic accomplishments. U.S. News and World Report. I'm going to announce the other night that we have one of our seniors, our merit scholarship winners, Max Semigran, just accepted to Harvard University. I mean, so the work that's being done here, and I challenged the students when I got here, and I challenged the staff to say that, every day is a new day. You want to do your best each and every day. And the staff here at the high school and the students have shown that, what's happening here is a testimony to the students, the staff, of course, the administration, and the parents. And that's happening district-wide. When we celebrate these great accomplishments, those things started back in kindergarten as 5-year-olds, and it came up through the middle school to get to the high school. So it's a celebration for the Mahopac Central School District. So as we're celebrating the holiday season, we need to celebrate in these difficult times a lot of the great things that are happening in the school district.
You talk about budget. The budget will be presented to the Board of Education. Mm-hmm. Currently now, the administration, the principals, the assistant principals are crunching all the numbers. What's the next process after that?
So what winds up happening is we are staff-oriented. 80% of the budget, you know this, Eric,
yes,
you
sure.
worked in schools, is your staff. So we're looking at, and we've done a great job in the last 3 years of right-sizing the district. Just because an individual may retire doesn't automatically mean we fill that position. In some ways, we've taken positions and we've recalibrated them and put them in areas of need, with hiring certain individuals for our instructional programs, for social emotional programs. So that's what we look at, but that's really what we're looking at. We're looking at our enrollments. And you know what's happening, Eric? It's an unknown.
Yeah.
People are flying out of the city. Eric, and I've heard this from people throughout the community, you put a house on the market on a Tuesday,
Gone.
by that weekend, it's gone.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see, because a lot of that is delayed. We have to clearly look to see what our enrollments are going to be, because that drives where we're at. So we're really looking at enrollments. We're looking at staffing. We're looking at retirements. And like I said to you, we want to try to keep things as fluid as they are, and try to keep things the way they were this year to roll over for next year.
Mayapack High School, as the boss says, we're here at the high school today. And if you drive around the campus, there's been a lot of work that's been done as a result of that bond. Give our viewers a little update.
Yeah, so we are in the stages now where we're waiting for approval from the state for phase one.
Mm-hmm.
The bodice of phase one will be here at Mayapack High School, both inside the building and outside the building. And what I mean by that is, just like you do your renovation on your home, there's going to have to be a lot of patience, understanding from late spring right through next fall. There's going to be a lot of work done here. There's going to be things moved around. There are going to be weeks when the school is going to be shut down because of the work that needs to be done. I mean, we're talking about this room, the library. We're talking about, a STEM wing, labs. We're talking about science rooms. We're talking about the music suite. We're talking about the boys' locker room.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about the entranceway into the building. We're talking about brand new turf, multifaceted field. We're talking about a pump station. We're talking about a lot of work. And it's going to start and carry over to the fall, and it may have to go into the following year also. And then we're going to start with the middle school project, phase two, and our elementary building. So the bond, and again, I want to thank the community, that work now is going to be starting in earnest, and it's going to be something I'm going to be mentioning every month. Once we get the approval from the state, hopefully in January, we'll then be going out to bid. Hopefully the board will accept the bid sometimes the end of February or March, and then we're going to get ready to go. And these are things and programs that we have known for years how to be looked at. I mean, if you've come in and you've been here a long time, Eric, you come into Mayapack High School. It's a vast plant, but it's an old plant. And we owe it to our students, not only currently but future, to be put in environments that are conducive to the technology and the learning that they're going to need to be successful when they go on to college and when they go on to their careers.
But as Anthony says, the result will be something that each one of you out there is going to say, wow, it was well worth the wait.
Well, one of the things, and I want to echo that, I was challenged when I came into this district, was to bring it back to what it used to be. I mean, you go back 20 years ago, we had the best athletic facilities, right? We had a lot of great programs.
Mayapack was always a cut above.
Yeah, and it was almost 15 or 20 years of just not, I don't want to say the word, just not understanding to keep up with the needs.
Yeah.
But what's important is this: we don't want to have the same thing happen. So once we do all this work over the next 3 years, then we want to establish a capital reserve fund so that we can be doing this work during these years, so that we don't get put in the same situation where you have to go out to the public and ask them for millions and millions of dollars to keep up with the facility. So we have a plan in place. We're excited about the work that's going to be done, but you have to be patient along the way.
As you can see, Anthony and I are tugging on these masks today. They keep on slipping down. And of course, we're in a very critical situation with the pandemic. You hear anything about the
So I have a couple.
vaccine?
I have a couple of updates, Eric, and thank you for bringing it to the attention. So we have been working very closely with the Putnam County Department of Health, and as you know, one of the requirements, if we are designated a zone, is that the district would have to then test.
Right.
So the Putnam County Department of Health has secured 4,000 tests for all the districts that we have, because you have to, depending on what zone you're in, it's either 20% of students and staff or 30% of students and staff that you have to test.
Okay.
So the county has secured those tests. We are working on a plan, should we have to test, what that would look like, and that'll be kind of rolled out when we get back, in the beginning of January, because, you have to be able to do that in a manner in which it's there's a flow, all right? And we're working on that, and all the rest of the schools are working on it too. Again, if we're designated a zone. If we're not designated a zone, then we're hoping that January 11th, we'll be able to go back to our hybrid model and go back to what we used to know as the normal before we had this uptick. And then we're hoping the vaccine then will come in. And that's important for the public to know. As of now, under phase 2 would be educators. I can't give you an exact timeline. They're guesstimating maybe at some point in time, maybe the middle of February, there may be that phase 2 rollout, and that can be a game changer. So, there seems to be a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to go through this month and a couple of weeks of these holidays, and so we're hoping that when we get to January, we'll be able to get back to some. Now, that doesn't mean there are not going to be hiccups.
No.
That doesn't mean things may not happen, and we might have to, again, depending on the schools and depending on what happens, you may have to go to a couple of days of remote learning depending on what goes on. And it's all about, again, once we get through the holidays, people being vigilant, doing the right thing, separating themselves, and we can get through this.
Well, the vaccine is out there. And as a matter of fact, today, and what's today? Today is the 23rd.
Correct.
That we're taping this program. Putnam Hospital Center, doctors and nurses are getting their shots today.
Yeah.
Nursing homes in the county, several of them, are also distributing it. So it's out there.
Yeah, and the EMS workers are getting it.
Yeah.
So, it's out there. It's rolling, how it's rolled out. Westchester Medical Center has been designated as the hub for the Hudson Valley area. So I know they're working with the other Department of Health to talk about what this dissemination may look like. And it may be very much like the flu, Eric.
Yeah.
Where, you know what? It'll be done in school. The Department of Health will come out. They'll have nurses. They'll come into schools and possibly vaccinate those who need to get vaccinated. So we'll see how it goes.
Anthony's a sports nut. He loves sports, loves athletics, loves being out there with the kids. You miss it, don't you?
Oh my God, it's therapeutic for me. I miss it very, very much, and I think the community knows where I stand with this. And it is going to become very interesting come January after the holiday. I think parents, coaches, the student athletes themselves, they need to have answers. They really do. And I got to tell you, I understand their struggle, Eric. I'm a sports junkie. I'm watching, and I have watched throughout the country, states with a far higher level of positivity. They played football. They're playing basketball. They're doing those other sports. So the question is, how can we work together to make this happen? Because we know from a social, emotional point of view, kids need to do it. But again, it needs to be done in a very safe manner. So to parents out there, and I have mentioned this, I mentioned it to you with graduation, I've been mentioning it to some of our coaches, you have to take your energy and direct it to your local officials, that you have to have some answers, and you want to work together to get these kids back on the courts, the playing fields. Because what's happened, Eric, is that they've designated certain sports as high risk. And therefore, as of December 11th, they said these are suspended indefinitely. And that becomes, what does that mean? Is it ever going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Well, let's see. Let's work together to try to make it happen, because that window keeps narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. And it's just, to me, again, in a safe and healthy manner, if we can do it. And I think the statistics show it. They did a study at the University of Wisconsin in the fall. It was done and has been done very, very successfully. So we'll see what happens. But, I'm the biggest cheerleader to get them to start going.
The holidays are here, but yet for those families out there in need of food, food will be made available in the Mahopac School District throughout the holiday period.
So in our updates, and I've sent it out to you, there's a number of days during the holiday break that you can come and be able to get meals if you need them. So it's really important to take advantage of that. It's a very good point for people to understand.
People are hurting.
Yeah, they definitely are hurting. And I think the schools working together with Aramart to be able to provide those meals is really important for people to take advantage of it is a very important measure.
Before we wish our viewers out there and Stash a happy holiday, any other fond words?
Yeah, and I mentioned this the other night. So I just have to thank you, the community, for your resilience, your patience, your understanding during these unprecedented times. I know it's not easy. It's just something that we've never been through before. And as a superintendent, I have to make sometimes decisions that not everybody's going to like. But I try to make a decision based on what I believe to be in the best interest of the health and safety of our students, our faculty, our staff, and the overall goodness or the good for Mayapack. I think that our public understands it. I think we will get through this together. I know Mayapack is extremely resilient. I'm looking so much forward to 2021. And to all of you that are home, relax. It's important to be with family. Do it in a very safe manner because we're going to need our energy, our spirit, our kindness, our need for hope as we go into 2021. We owe it to our kids. We owe it to them. And, I just wish everybody the best. To you, Eric, and to Stas behind the camera, the best of holidays, peace and health, and the new year. And, I'm blessed to be able to do this. I have to tell you, one of my charges upon coming in as superintendent was to get the face of Mayapack back out to where it was. And,
It's out there.
But the two of you, I know you know that, Eric, but sometimes people don't understand that. We really try to give these updates and try to let people understand where we're at, what's happening, and what's going on. So I thank you. I thank Stas, who's behind the camera, and ultimately, of course, I thank the public for those of you that do tune in and understand where we're at and what we're trying to do. Thank you for all you do. God bless you and your families, and have a very wonderful holiday season.
Well, we thank you, and the Mayapack community thanks Anthony DiCarlo for what he does every day, working maybe not 24 hours a day, but 23 and a half hours every day.
Thanks.
Out there and about, on the field, off the field. The guy's always around. He's a treasure, and we're blessed to have him. Thank you again, one and all. Have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Stas, same to you and yours. Anthony, you and your family. I'm Eric Gross. Until next time, be safe. We'll see you all in the new year. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas from all of us in the Mayapack schools.
For more information, please visit our website, www.mayapack.k12.ny.us. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search for the channel mcsd.news.